So with the market prices of cryptos booming and the price of Vet having doubled within a week, just over a week maybe, for many of the people on this channel who got into Vet early in the market cycle when the prices were much lower than they are now, we are sitting on very large percentage gains. In fact, my Vet holding alone, not considering any of the other cryptos in my portfolio, increased in value by $100,000 within that week, which is almost unbelievable for somebody who has not come from money. And so as every good investor should, whenever there are significant changes in the value of our holdings in any short period of time, I took a moment out to reevaluate and think about my position in more detail, and I've decided that I am now going to pursue an infinite return strategy in all of my crypto holdings, meaning that I'm taking out all of the money that I originally put into my Vet holding and other cryptos, and only leaving in the profit section of the holding. And there are a few reasons as to why I think that this was a good idea in my situation, and why it may not be a bad thing at least to consider for other investors as well. But before that, if you're a VeChain fan and a Vet investor, this channel is the place to be. We have VeChain content out nearly every day as well as other investing content as well, so be sure to subscribe for those if they sound like something you'd enjoy and may find useful. So the first thing to understand is, for those who don't already know what an infinite return strategy is, it's a situation where an investor makes an investment and then the value of that investment increases over time, and they then take back their initial investment and leave in only the profit section, effectively meaning that any gain from that point on would be of an infinite rate of return, and the investor is eliminating any risk that they will come out of that investment with less money than they had initially going in. And you can see why this can potentially be a very good option in certain situations, especially when we have a risk-averse investor with limited capital. They can take advantage of the short-term market volatility to make trades and build up a crypto portfolio without tying up any capital for long periods of time. For me, as I got into Vet quite early in the market cycle, I only need to sell around 10% of my holding to get back my initial investment, and the rest is profit, which means that in any case, no matter what happens up or down for Vet, I will not lose any more money than I put in initially. And what this does is it creates a kind of peace of mind and better ability to leave money in the market for longer periods. Because when we are playing with our own money, especially that we are taking from our own pockets and we know that we have had to work 6 months or a year for, it creates a lot of stress and worry and we begin to second guess ourselves. But for me personally, at least knowing that I'm playing with the house's money puts me at ease a lot more, and I'm much more comfortable holding for the long term. And of course, it's not actually the house's money, it's money that I've made from crypto, but nonetheless it's money that if in the worst case scenario I were to lose, I still wouldn't be down on a net basis. And this is a very good position to be in, especially in a very new and volatile asset class like crypto. And I'm fully aware that a lot of people won't be in a situation where they're sitting on a large gain, and where they can take out their initial investment without having to sell a large part of their Vet holding. For me, I know that Vet is a crypto which I want to have a long-term interest and a long-term exposure to, and luckily I only had to sell a small portion of my holding to achieve this strategy, and the trade-off was in this situation minimal. But if you're sitting on a gain of maybe 2 to 1 or even 3 to 1, having to sell a half or a third of your Vet holding to get your initial investment back can be a big hit, but there's no reason as to why an investor can't take half or 3/4 or even 1/4 of their initial investment back. And you may be asking yourself why I'd want to sell any and want to pursue this infinite return strategy, especially if you don't need the money, and the answer is usually risk management. An investor has 2 jobs. The first is to make money by identifying good long-term investments, and the second is preserving their capital through sound risk management. The more money that an investor makes, the more their focus should be on the latter. When I started out in crypto and I actually made videos about this on my channel, I could afford to be a lot more bold and take bigger risks, as I was working with a fairly small sum of money in comparison to my portfolio today, and so at one point I even had 90% of my net worth just in one crypto alone. But now that my portfolio value has grown a lot during this bull run, I have to focus more on capital preservation and risk management, but I also want to have a good long-term exposure to Vet as well. And so for me, an infinite return strategy and taking my initial investment back seem like a reasonable trade-off to make. And again, the reason for making this video is to show investors that first of all, this strategy can be a good one, especially for those with large gains, but also for those who want to continue to have exposure to Vet, or any other crypto for that matter as well. And also for those who want to have a better peace of mind and not have to worry about whether the market crashes, because in any case, if an investor has already taken their initial investment back, they cannot lose money on a net basis unless they are shorting or using leverage. And to me, this strategy at this particular uncertain economic time just seem like a good way to achieve a healthy balance between long-term exposure and risk management, and maybe it will for you as well. But this is only my opinion and my strategy for now, and I don't know your personal circumstances, and so I can't advise anybody on strategy, but instead just make them aware of this option and the potential benefits of using it. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I'll see you next time.